Hi, my name's Dori. I had the TOPS procedure, which is the facet joint replacement for L4, L5. I've had issues with my back for a while. It's a spondylolisthesis, so there's been a slippage, but I was able to maintain it with working out and Pilates for many years. But I was in a car accident about 3 years ago, which sort of set everything off again and started causing problems, and the slippage went from like 6 millimeters to 12 millimeters and started causing me a lot of issues. I was having, terrible nerve pain in my left leg, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, but I was holding off on doing anything because I really didn't want to do a fusion, and that seemed to be the only option. And so I started researching what else was out there, and my back doctor at the time, Dr. Barron, referred me to Dr. Ament because he was doing this new procedure with TOPS, and I was very fortunate that he had just gotten the FDA approval shortly before I ended up having the procedure. So the timing, thank God, worked out for me. When I met Dr. Ament for the first time, they couldn't have been nicer or more accommodating. They took a lot of time. I brought all, my discs in, I have a long history. I also had some discs replaced in my neck from the same accident. So I've had several issues, and he was just very thorough. He really looked at everything, assessed what was going on, discussed all the options with me, answered, all my questions. And I'm the kind of person, I really do my due diligence. I like to do a lot of research. I come in with a list of questions. I don't take things lightly. I want to know, I'd rather ask all the questions up front and not be surprised and know what I'm in for, and what all the possibilities are, good and bad, before I move forward. And he was fantastic. He had a great bedside manner, very warm, very, again, very accommodating, very knowledgeable. I felt very comfortable talking to him. I was definitely nervous because it's a serious surgery. It's probably the most serious surgery I've ever had, and you always are nervous when you're doing something with your back or your spine. And I knew it was a serious procedure. I was also the first outpatient in the US to have it, and I wasn't so much worried about doing it as an outpatient. It was more of a relief, really, to not have to be in the hospital and to know that it was close to home and easier. It was an immediate difference, and Dr. Ament came to check on me right afterwards, and I was blown away. The nerve pain was gone. I couldn't believe that, I had been having stabbing, continual pains in my leg, and I woke up and it was fantastic. I couldn't believe the difference immediately. And I said to him, I'm shocked, I'm amazed that the pain is gone. And they get you up and even walking right away when you're after the surgery. And within a week of the surgery, I walked 3 miles. It was unbelievable. The pain, there was never really any pain from the device itself. The only pain I had was transitioning, from standing to sitting or sitting to lying down. And that got, materially better every day. He's very responsive. I had, they give you a muscle relaxer as one of the medications, and the one he gave me wasn't working as well as the one I had for my previous surgery with my neck. And, I texted him, I think it was a Friday night. He responded right away, and took care of it. He is very responsive and diligent in his care. Anytime I had any questions or concerns, he answered immediately. And he, called me the next morning, and I told him I was feeling great. I hadn't even really needed a pain pill. It was amazing. And he was very, very good about the follow-up and care as well. I would absolutely recommend him 100%. I try to tell everybody about the procedure and how well it went. I had 2 friends that had fusions at the same time or shortly before my TOPS procedure, and they are so far behind me in their recovery. That was way more painful for them. I feel bad for them saying that, I'm doing great, because I feel bad that they feel so bad still and have to go through so much, and their recovery is so much longer. I can't say enough good things about the procedure. I try to tell everyone because I think people aren't aware of it and don't know that it's out there. And it's really a blessing. It's a life-changing surgery.